What's going on YouTube? It's King Kirk here. You're back with another episode of 3519, and today we're going to dive into the pillar of spiritual prosperity. Alright, so to start this video off, I kind of just wanted to get into some basic understandings of things, of kind of what spirituality is, what it is to be spiritual, and what is a human spirit. I thought it would be a good idea to start this off with 4 essential questions. 1, in my opinion, what does it mean to be spiritual? 2, do you have to believe in God to be spiritual? What is the human spirit and what is it made out of? What is its composition? Lastly, 4, what is the function and the role of the human spirit? In my opinion, spirituality is just another word for being energy conscious. I feel that we all can understand and feel vibrations around us, feel good vibes, feel bad vibes, and just our ability to want to understand how we can move and bring in good energy or deflect bad energy or vice versa, whatever you're kind of into. That process of being in tune with yourself and understanding the vibrations around you, I equate that to spirituality. In regards to how I describe the spirit, I guess I would kind of describe it as, so from the energy that dwells in us, so that's in us, that kind of brings us to life. You know, essentially all we are is just matter, and that there's something in us that gives us this personality or this creativity or this vibrance to our human nature. And I believe that's what the spirit is. It's that magic that makes us human. So I went to the popular dictionaries of today and looked up the word spirit and spirituality, and this is what I got. According to the Oxford Dictionary, spirit is defined as the non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. So I had a couple questions about this definition. Who says that the soul is non-physical? Well, the soul is physical, but we just lack the advanced technology to be able to quantify and qualify its properties. In other words, in terms of spirituality, what if we're still in the caveman years? What if we're still kind of in the dinosaur ages of our thinking in terms of what the human spirit is, its capacity, what it can do, and its true role in our life? In my research, I came across an experiment done by Dr. Duncan McDougall, who gathered 6 of his patients who were on their deathbed. He put their deathbed on a scale to measure their mass before their death and after their death. With each of his 6 patients, he saw a decrease in their weight after they expired. This led Dr. Duncan McDougall to believe that the spirit has weight. Now, there were a couple arguments that went against Dr. McDougall and his theory, considering that he had such a sample size. He only had 6 people who were in his experiment, and we know for a theory to hold any weight or be accepted in science that it must be able to be duplicated multiple times by different doctors and or scientists. So at the end of the day, Dr. McDougall's experiment is very interesting, but there is still no solid evidence that the human spirit has some type of quantifiable weight to it. One of the interesting points that I found from reading the different definitions is that even though the human spirit is not said to be natural to this world, it is described to be an essential part of the human experience. That notion has led me to some follow-up questions that I will have for next week for myself that will kind of guide me in my studying. Is the idea of having a spirit even practical? Number 2, where does the human spirit come from? How did it get inside of us? Where does it go after we leave Earth? 3, does everyone have a human spirit, or do we assume that every human does? And lastly, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think we should do? Is the human spirit real? Is it not real? Does the spirit go to hell? Does it not go to hell? Whatever questions you have about the human spirit, I want to hear from you. Alright, so for our second question, do you have to believe in God to be spiritual? Well, I believe it all depends on how you view God and your spirituality. I can't really answer this question right now because after reading the definitions of spirituality and a spirit, I really can't say that I have a strong definition of or understanding of what the two are. So I want to take the next couple of months to kind of really formulate some type of idea of what spirituality is and what the human spirit is, and then I can kind of revisit this question and answer it more concretely. And don't get me wrong, I expect this definition to change a couple of times as I grow and evolve in my wisdom and understanding of life and have all these different life experiences. I'm sure that my definition of spirituality, spirit, God, everything will change, as it should be, because that's what we're supposed to do as humans. We're supposed to evolve and adapt. Until then, I will comfortably accept that the idea of possessing the knowledge to understand God and spirituality is beyond my current state of enlightenment, and I'm in the process of coming into that understanding. Question number 3. What is the human spirit made out of? If I had to take a wild guess, I would say that the human spirit is made out of energy, just like pretty much everything that exists in this universe. To be clear, I have no idea what the human spirit is made out of because I'm not even sure what it is. This is another question that I will have to revisit in the future. Fourth and final question. What is the role and the function of the human spirit? So this is assuming that we are saying that the human spirit is in fact real, it's its own entity, and that it actually does have a role or a function. In my opinion, I believe that the human spirit is like a detection system. It can kind of let you know when things are good or bad for you. For example, have you ever been in like a situation to where you felt uneasy about it, but there was never really anything around you that let you know that you were in danger or this wasn't a good situation for you, but you can just kind of feel it like in your gut or just somewhere? I believe that's the human spirit. I believe that it lets us know that things are good for us or things are bad for us. I think that most of the time in our lives, things go wrong when we kind of negate against this detection system that's kind of built into us to let us know what's good or right for us. Furthermore, I believe that the human spirit is a bullshit detection system. I believe that the human spirit is an awesome bullshit radar detection system. I believe that the human spirit can pick up fakeness, it can pick up phoniness, it can pick up unrealness like no other. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about because it's been times where maybe you were in a group or you're in some type of setting or some type of interaction with someone and you could just feel that they weren't being genuine with you, or maybe they were talking shit behind your back, or just some other secret agenda that you could feel when you're dealing with other people. I believe that's the role of the human spirit, is to kind of bring that to the light. Let us know that, hey, I know that on the outward appearance it seems like it's okay, but there may be something else that you want to look at. There's a hunch that you have, and I believe that's the human spirit. All right, so that's all I have for this week for spiritual prosperity. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your definitions of what being spiritual, what a spirit is, spirituality, all that. I want to hear that below. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think, what's on your mind. Until next time, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's King Kirk. Let's get it, man.